I know Africa's most secret animal. I'll give you some clues if you want to search for it.
Alright, what's my first clue?
The secret animal has an unusual way of defending itself when it's threatened.
Gorillas have an unusual way of defending themselves. Gorillas feel threatened whenever they are stared at, and they will stare back at an intruder. At first, gorillas will stand their ground and confront any intruder. Then they run at it on all fours. Gorillas also try to scare other animals off by drumming their chests and roaring.
In the past, gorillas were described as fierce and violent killers. In fact, they're gentle animals.
Gorillas live in family groups, sleeping and eating together. They build a new nest of grass and leaves each night to sleep on. Sometimes gorillas will wear leaves on their heads for decoration.
The secret animal doesn't wear hats.
Is the secret animal a primate like the gorilla?
It might be. I'm not giving away too much just yet. We've just started searching.
The Dobrazha's guenon has a different way of defending itself. When it's threatened, it shows off the brightly coloured areas on its body. Then it stands on its back legs and moves its white beard up and down quickly. The Dobrazha's guenon lives in forests and swamps in Africa.
The Dobrazha's guenon isn't the animal you're looking for.
I know another monkey that uses its body to defend itself. Perhaps it's the secret animal. The mandrill's face looks like it's covered with war paint. Mandrills live in rainforests in Africa. When the mandrill is threatened, it uses its brightly coloured face as a way of scaring off other animals. As the mandrill gets more excited, the colour on its face becomes even brighter. Most monkeys show their teeth as a threat, but when the mandrill shows its teeth, it's being friendly. Although mandrills live in thick forests, they spend most of their time on the ground, searching for food. They mostly eat fruit, grasses and vegetables, but they also eat spiders and insects.
The mandrill has an unusual way of defending itself, but it isn't the secret animal. Do you know of any animals which defend themselves in a different way?
The crested porcupine is not an aggressive animal, but if it's threatened, it becomes a very good fighter, stamping its back feet and erecting its sharp quills. Then it rattles its quills and makes grunting sounds. If that doesn't scare off the animal that's attacking it, the porcupine will turn around and run backwards, sticking its quills into the animal.
Porcupines look for plants and fruit to eat at night. During the day they prefer to sleep. But the secret animal isn't the porcupine.
What about the springbok? Springboks can run up to 90 kilometres an hour, so you'd have to be a fast animal to catch them. When they're threatened, springboks arch up their backs and fan out the hair along their rumps, which is a warning signal to other springboks. Then they run away, making high bouncing leaps into the air, called pronking.
Springboks live in large herds in dry and open parts of Africa. Because springboks were hunted by the Europeans who settled in southern Africa, their herds are much smaller than they used to be. I'll give you another clue. When the secret animal is threatened, it can be very noisy.
I know an African animal that can be very noisy when it's threatened. If the secret animal is noisy when it's threatened, it might be the chimpanzee. They're one of the noisiest of the primates, and their calls can be heard up to 3 kilometres away. Chimps have only 2 enemies, leopards and people. They react to them in very different ways. When they discover that a person is nearby, a scout will issue a quiet warning cry to the others in the troop, and they all remain still and silent until the person has gone. If they come across a leopard, they'll shout and scream and shake the tree branches. They will even throw things at the leopard to scare it off. This is the bonobo chimpanzee. Chimps are like people in many ways. They often make friends with each other.
Chimpanzees are very intelligent. They are one of the few animals in the world that can use tools like us. Young chimpanzees are taught how to get termites to eat by poking a stick into the termite's nest and then licking the termites off the stick.
The chimp is a very clever animal. Is it the secret animal?
No, the secret animal has a long tail. That's your next clue.
The black and white colobus has a long tail. The colobus was hunted for its tail, which was made into hats and furs for European women to wear. The word colobus means the mutilated one. That's because these primates don't have proper thumbs. Black and white colobus move quickly through the rainforests. They are good climbers and can swing easily through the trees.
Are there any other primates with long tails?
The ring-tailed lemur has a long tail. Lemurs are only found on the island of Madagascar, which is off the east coast of Africa. There are many different types of lemurs, but they all have round eyes that glow red in the dark. They also all have thick bushy tails and long noses. Lemurs usually sleep with their head and arms between their back legs and their tails wrapped around their bodies.
Ring-tailed lemurs are primates, but are very different to their relatives on the mainland. Ring-tailed lemurs move about in groups. When it's cold, they'll huddle together to stay warm.
The brown lemur is a relative of the ring-tailed lemur. Lemurs are mostly active at night, but the brown lemur enjoys sunbaking in the early morning. They spread themselves out and turn their faces to the sun. In early times, Madagascar natives called lemurs sun children and believed that the lemurs held the souls of dead ancestors. They were treated with holy respect.
These beliefs are no longer held, and lemurs are now an endangered animal.
Brown lemurs have very thick fur, and even in tropical rainstorms, they won't get wet through. Brown lemurs build nests for their babies. The mother rips fur from her body and uses it to line the nest. Is the brown lemur the secret animal?
No, I think I should tell you, the secret animal isn't a primate. Remember, the secret animal has an unusual way of defending itself.
And it has a long tail. Maybe it's another animal that lives in Madagascar. If the secret animal's home is in Madagascar, it could be a reptile, like the Madagascan iguana. The iguana has a tail that's even longer than its body, and it has an unusual way of defending itself. When threatened, the iguana stands high on its legs, puffs out its neck, and opens its mouth wide to show its throat, which then changes colour to scare off other animals.
Do you know of any other African animals that can change colour?
The Madagascan chameleon has a long tail, and it can change colour. That's how the chameleon defends itself. Chameleons live in trees. When threatened, they will change into the same colour as the branches they sit on. This makes it very hard for an animal to see them. Chameleons have very long and sticky tongues, which they flick out to catch food. They can also swivel each of their eyes in different directions at the same time, so they can see all around themselves.
Here's another clue. The secret animal isn't a reptile.
Maybe it's an amphibian that lives in Madagascar. The Madagascan red frog is one of the thousands of different types of frogs in the world. Frogs spend most of their time in water. They even give birth in water.
The Madagascan red frog isn't the secret animal either. Unlike these amphibians, the secret animal doesn't live in water, but water is essential for its survival.
But lots of animals need to drink water to survive.
The secret animal doesn't just need water to drink.
Maybe this is the secret animal. The hippopotamus doesn't just drink water, it needs water to survive. Hippos have very sensitive skin, which they have to keep wet. If the hippo's skin dries out, it can die. That's why hippos spend so much of their time in the water. Hippos also go into the water to avoid danger. They can stay underwater for up to 5 minutes before they have to come up to breathe.
Hippos live all over Africa. Although they spend a lot of their time wallowing in rivers, they come out of the water to eat.
Hippos have razor-sharp teeth, which they like to show off to other hippos. They can be very aggressive if threatened. More people in Africa are killed each year by hippos than by lions. The pygmy hippo is smaller than its larger cousin, and it also needs water to survive. Pygmy hippos are about 1/10 the weight of the larger hippos. Pygmy hippos are very rare. They also have a different way of defending themselves when threatened. They run into the forest for shelter instead of going into the water.
Here's a new clue. The secret animal doesn't swim.
But you said the secret animal needs water to survive.
It does, but it doesn't swim.
Some animals find their food in water. Maybe the secret animal is one of them. If the secret animal finds its food in water, it might be a bird, like the hammerhead. They need water to survive because they eat fish. Hammerheads have partly webbed toes, like many other marsh birds, but they don't swim. The Stanley crane is also known as the blue crane. It lives near rivers and marshes, looking for fish to eat. Crowned cranes mainly eat insects and grasses. Cranes all use dance to communicate. They dance to impress each other, when they want to scare off other birds, or even just for fun. The yellow-billed stork eats while walking. It has a long bill, which it uses to probe the ground when searching for small animals.
Here's another clue. The secret animal doesn't eat fish.
The marabou stork often eats dead animals. It will even be attracted to bushfires to see if there are any dead animals that it can eat.
The marabou stork is a bird of prey. Marabou storks will hunt live animals and will even attack and eat young crocodiles. The marabou stork has one of the largest wingspans of any bird in the world.
I know some other birds of prey that are found in Africa. The white-backed vulture is a bird of prey, and like other vultures, it flies in circles over the carcass of a dead animal before it lands to eat. When vultures are seen flying low in circles, it's likely that a dead animal is below. The most famous of all birds of prey are the eagles. This one is called Verreaux's eagle. The Batellia eagle eats snakes. It has very long wings, a short tail, and sharp claws, which it uses to catch its food. The Abyssinian ground hornbill has a long curved bill, which it uses to attack small mammals, which are its prey.
The secret animal isn't a bird of prey. Keep searching.
The Cory bustard eats fruit and plants. Although the word bustard means walking bird, and most bustards cannot fly, the Cory bustard can. The Cory bustard is one of the heaviest flying birds in the world.
I think I should tell you, the secret animal can't fly.
Well, I know an African bird that doesn't fly. The ostrich is the largest bird in the world. It's also one of the few birds in the world that can't fly.
Although it can't fly, the ostrich can run very fast, up to 50 kilometres an hour. It also has excellent eyesight.
Ostriches are very unusual birds because they will help look after each other's eggs. In ancient Egypt, the ostrich feather was the symbol of justice.
The ostrich is most unusual, but it's not the secret animal. Remember, the secret animal needs water to survive.
If the secret animal doesn't fly and can't swim, then maybe it lives in the desert, where water is so important for survival. If the secret animal lives in the desert, it might be the camel. The dromedary camel's body is designed for the harsh and extreme temperatures of the desert. Camels can survive for many months without water and can eat dry plants that other animals avoid. Camels can store up masses of fat in their humps, which they can live off if necessary. They have a double row of eyelashes, which help keep out the sand of the desert. They can also close their nostrils. Dromedary camels have a thick coat. Their coats keep them warm at night when the desert becomes very cold, and also helps protect them against the heat of the day.
Camels are domesticated animals. The people of the Sahara ride on them and also use them to carry goods. The secret animal is wild and has never been used by man for any domestic purpose.
The addax is a wild animal which lives in the Sahara. Like the camel, the addax can also live for a long time without water, which it gets from the dew found on plants. The addax has good hearing and eyesight and a good sense of smell. Addax were once found all over the Sahara, but because they were hunted for their horns and skins, they are now endangered. The dik-dik is much smaller than the addax and also lives in the desert. Dik-diks are most active just before sunrise and just after sunset. They rest during the heat of the day. The dik-dik has a gland below each eye, which it uses to leave its scent on trees. It also has a very flexible nose, which it uses to detect smells.
Dik-diks have an unusual call when frightened. They cry out, "Zik, zik," which is how they get their name. But the dik-dik isn't the secret animal.
The gerenuk is another animal that can survive in the hot desert weather. The gerenuk is one of the most graceful animals in Africa and can stand on its back legs to reach up to bushes and trees in search of leaves to eat. The gerenuk eats a wide variety of leaves and from them gets all the moisture it needs. It rarely drinks water. The gerenuk is a very unusual animal. Is it Africa's most secret animal?
The gerenuk is a very good guess, but you'll have to keep on searching. Remember, the secret animal has an unusual way of defending itself, and it needs water, but not just for drinking. We've searched through many of Africa's animals, but you still haven't found the secret animal.
Let's see. It has an unusual way of defending itself. It needs water, but not just for drinking. And it's often been mistaken for another animal. The Arabian oryx has been mistaken for another animal. Some people believe that the Arabian oryx was the legendary unicorn. That's because when you see an Arabian oryx side on, its two horns can look like one. The Arabian oryx lives in the desert. It has a white coat which helps reflect the heat of the day. The oryx's coat can also absorb warmth to help it survive the cold desert nights.
The oryx digs into the ground with its wide hooves. It lies down in the cool sand, so it's protected from the hot desert winds. Arabian oryx are careful not to venture out from the cover of shade until evening. The secret animal also rests during the day. That's your next clue.
The fennec fox lives in the desert, and it also rests during the day, coming out at night to hunt for food. The fennec fox has large ears, which lose heat during the day. This helps to keep it cool.
With such enormous ears, the fennec fox has excellent hearing.
I know some other animals with very good hearing. Maybe one of them is the secret animal. The black-backed jackal relies on its excellent hearing, eyesight, and sense of smell when it's hunting for food. Jackals are members of the dog family, and like dogs, they can bark. Jackals live in family groups, and couples stay together for life. The Cape hunting dog also has very good hearing. Cape hunting dogs travel in packs and are very clever at chasing down their prey. They run as a team, taking turns in trying to stop the prey.
The secret animal isn't a dog, and it doesn't hunt in packs.
I think I need another clue. Is there something about the secret animal's body which is unusual?
Yes, you could say that.
Barbary sheep have distinctive horns and long manes under their chins. Barbary sheep are found in the deserts of northern Africa, and like the gerenuk, they can also stand on their back legs to eat leaves from high bushes.
The secret animal isn't a sheep.
The eland has such an unusual body that drawings of it have been found in rock paintings done by African tribesmen in the past. The eland is the largest antelope in the world. Eland have an amazing ability to jump over one another without a run-up.
The secret animal can also move in a strange way.
Can they jump over each other, like the eland?
No, they can't do that.
Maybe the secret animal leaps, like the impala. Impala are excellent runners and can leap long distances, like a long jump. During their leaps, impala give a kick in mid-air to release scent from glands in their back legs. The scent sends a message of alarm to other impala. Their jumping also helps to confuse predators.
Impala are such good runners that their babies are up and running minutes after they're born. But this isn't the secret animal.
Does the impala look like the secret animal?
No, the secret animal has a much more unusual looking body than the impala.
I know an African animal with a colourful pattern on its body. Perhaps it's the secret animal. If the secret animal has an unusual looking body, it might be the zebra. Their bodies are covered with impressive black and white stripes. There are many different types of zebra, and some have brown and white colours. Each zebra has its own special pattern of stripes. Zebras stay together in the same group all their lives. Adult zebras rest and sleep standing up.
The secret animal doesn't have a body that's covered all over in stripes.
Well, maybe it only has a few stripes. I know some animals like that. The bongo is an antelope. It has a pattern of thin, narrow stripes on its body, which help to hide it in the jungle.
Bongos are rare and shy animals, but if they are cornered, they can become ferocious. I think I should tell you, the secret animal doesn't have stripes on its body.
The yellow-backed duiker doesn't have stripes, but it does have a patch of yellow hairs on its back, which stand up when the duiker is frightened. They are called duiker, which means diver in the Afrikaans language, because that's what they do if they're scared. They dive for cover. Is this the secret animal?
No, the secret animal doesn't have stripes or a patch.
But you said I should look at animals that did.
I only said that it had a very unusual looking body.
Well, this is an animal with a very different looking body. The savannah monitor has a strong tail which helps to steer it as it runs. Its tail can also be used as a weapon, whipping out at the monitor's enemies. A monitor is a lizard with strong legs, clawed toes, a long tail and a forked tongue. The savannah monitor can run very quickly. If it's scared, The savannah monitor will try to find a place to hide, but if it can't, it will attack. The scorpion has a very unusual looking body. There are hundreds of different types of scorpions throughout the world. In Africa, some scorpions live in the Sahara Desert. They have such a strong poison in the sting of their tails that they can kill a mammal within seconds.
Scorpions also have tiny hairs on their pincers which can detect the slightest air movement. These help them locate their prey.
But scorpions are generally shy animals and spend most of the day under shelter. The horned viper is a reptile which is best avoided. Horned vipers have much longer fangs than most other snakes. They can fold their fangs up when their jaws are open. The horned viper eats rats and mice. The viper's bite contains a powerful venom which it uses to paralyse its prey.
The horned viper has special sensors on its head and in its mouth. By using these sensors, the viper can detect the warmth of an animal nearby.
When threatened, vipers hiss. They raise up their necks and jerk their heads backwards and forwards.
The secret animal isn't as scary as the viper.
Like scorpions and all other dangerous animals, they must be treated very carefully.
I'll give you a new clue. The secret animal isn't a reptile, it's a mammal.
I know an animal that looks like a reptile, but it's a mammal. The white-bellied pangolin is a mammal, but it has a most unusual scaly body that makes it look like a reptile. The pangolin sleeps in trees and eats ants and termites. It's found in dense rainforests and is very rare. When it's scared, the pangolin will roll up into a tight ball to protect its soft belly.
The pangolin is a very good guess. It's an animal that very few people have ever heard of, and it does have a very unusual looking body. But it's not the secret animal. The secret animal is bigger than the pangolin.
I know a tall African animal that has a very unusual body. If the secret animal has an unusual looking body, perhaps it's the giraffe. The giraffe is the tallest animal in the world. Giraffes are so tall that when their babies are born, they are nearly 2 meters high.
Giraffes also have an unusual way of defending themselves. They have a powerful kick which can even kill a lion.
Giraffes only sleep about half an hour in every day. They live in grasslands in Africa. If they have to, giraffes can go without drinking water for long periods of time.
The giraffe is one of Africa's most famous animals. It's not the secret animal.
Can you give me another clue?
Yes, the secret animal is also very shy.
The okapi is one of the most timid animals in Africa. Okapis are related to giraffes, but they live in dense forests and are much harder to find. Like giraffes, okapis have small horns on their heads which are covered by skin and long black tongues. The okapi's tongue is so long that it can reach most parts of its body. Okapi mothers, like giraffes, also use their front legs to kick at any animals which threaten their young. Okapis are hunted by pygmy tribes for their meat and are highly endangered.
Okapis eat plants that are poisonous to humans. The secret animal has something to do with poisons too.
Meerkats eat lots of different small mammals, but they also eat poisonous snakes. The meerkat is also very shy, always ready to run away if danger approaches. Meerkats live in large underground colonies.
In the early morning, meerkats like to sun themselves, but one of the colony always keeps watch, standing up and looking out for predators such as eagles.
The dwarf mongoose is another animal that eats poisonous snakes. The mongoose hunts and kills in packs. Like the meerkat, the dwarf mongoose enjoys basking in the sun. If threatened, it will scamper down its burrow. The dwarf mongoose is a very curious animal. Is the secret animal curious?
Not really.
Time for another clue, please.
The secret animal has powerful claws which it uses when eating.
Lions have very powerful claws. After stalking its prey, the lion attacks with a fast run and a leap. It usually kills with a bite to the neck, then rips its prey apart, holding it down with its strong claws. Although lions have a fierce reputation, they are very lazy animals and rest for up to 20 hours a day. They rub each other to transfer scent, just like household cats. This helps the lions in each group recognise each other. When strangers approach, lions can detect the unusual scent.
Like small cats, lions purr when they are happy. To proclaim their territory, they roar, and the sound of their roar is so loud that it can be heard up to 8 kilometres away. The lion is known as the king of the jungle, even though it lives in open country in Africa. But the secret animal isn't the lion.
I know some other cats that live in Africa. The cheetah is another cat with powerful claws, which it uses to rip apart its food. The cheetah is the fastest mammal on land in the world. It can run at speeds of over 100 kilometres an hour. Cheetahs are peaceful animals and rarely fight with each other. The serval cat climbs trees and often jumps at birds and grabs them in mid-air with its claws. The serval is a timid cat and, if threatened, will hide in a tree. It's smaller than the lion and the cheetah. Its back legs are longer than its front legs, which helps make it a very good jumper.
None of these cats is the secret animal.
Why not?
Because the secret animal isn't a cat. Here's another clue. The secret animal has been hunted in the past for a very special reason.
If the secret animal has been hunted, it might be the Cape buffalo. They have been hunted for their magnificent horns, which were valued as trophies. Cape buffalo live in herds. When a Cape buffalo is attacked, all the herd will respond and fight back, instead of leaving each animal to its own defence. If one Cape buffalo is on its own, all it has to do is call, and the others will run to help. Although it's such a large and bulky animal, the Cape buffalo can run quite fast. The white-tailed gnu once roamed Africa in large herds, but because they were hunted, they became extinct in the wild. White-tailed gnu now survive only in wildlife parks and zoos. White-tailed gnu were often killed for their tails, which were made into fly swats. Both male and female gnus have unusually shaped horns on their heads, and they are known as the clowns of the animal kingdom because they like to jump and dance about together. The white-bearded gnu is known as the wildebeest. They are usually seen in large herds, which migrate long distances every year looking for fresh pastures.
Does the gnu have an unusual way of defending itself?
They moo like cows when they're scared.
That's unusual, but the gnu isn't the secret animal. It was hunted for a different part of its body.
Why?
Because it was ground into a powder and used by men for a very strange reason.
What about the rhinoceros? The rhinoceros is hunted for its horn, which isn't a bone, but is made up of tough fibres. Its horn is ground into a powder and is used for special medicines. The horns are also made into dagger handles. There are two different types of rhino in Africa, the black and the white. Both are endangered because of the continuing demand for their horns.
Rhinos have an excellent sense of smell. Female white rhinos often greet each other by touching their noses together.
The black rhinoceros is more aggressive than the gentle white rhino. When alarmed, it will lower its head, snort, and prepare to gallop towards the enemy. But sometimes it's just pretending, and will come to a sudden stop. Neither of the two rhinos is very intelligent, and they both have bad eyesight, partly because of where their eyes are positioned, on the sides of their heads.
Rhinos don't have any front teeth and eat with their lips. They eat plants and are very dependent on water. They can only go for a couple of days without a drink. But the secret animal isn't a rhino.
What else could it be?
I'll give you another clue. Some people say the secret animal looks like a pig.
If the secret animal looks like a pig, it must be the warthog. The warthog gets its name from the 3 warts on either side of its head. Warthogs have also been widely hunted because they carry some diseases which can kill people.
The secret animal isn't the warthog.
But you said the secret animal looks like a pig.
I said some people think it looks like a pig. I don't think that's true though. And the secret animal doesn't have as many teeth as the warthog.
I know an animal that has only 2 front teeth. The rock hyrax has only 2 front teeth. Rock hyraxes can't control their body temperature. They like to sunbake, although sometimes they die of sunstroke.
I'll give you another clue. The secret animal is larger than the rock hyrax.
What else can you tell me?
The secret animal has a very sensitive and unusual nose.
What about the elephant? It has a highly sensitive nose. Its two front teeth are called tusks. Elephants are hunted for their ivory tusks. They are the largest land mammals in the world. They use their long trunks to smell, fight, and to trumpet loud noises when they are angry. Elephants also use their trunks to eat. Elephants can eat between 1 and 200 kilos of food each day. That's enough to feed almost 100 adult humans. Elephants live in family groups. Although there are stories about elephants killing people, they are gentle animals. When an elephant is giving birth, another female will help, and they'll also help each other when one is sick or dying. If they come across the body of a dead elephant, they will cover it with branches, just like we bury people.
Elephants can run fast too, up to 40 kilometres an hour. But this isn't the secret animal. The secret animal has a long nose too, but not as long as the elephant's trunk.
We've seen so many animals. What's left?
One last clue. The secret animal hunts for its food at night.
What's this strange animal?
It's the aardvark. This is Africa's most secret animal. It only comes out from its underground burrow at night and is very shy. The aardvark has a very sensitive nose, which it uses to sniff out food. It rips open termite mounds with its powerful claws. The aardvark doesn't have any front teeth. It uses its long, sticky tongue to lick out the termites. It's one of the strongest diggers in the animal world and can burrow underground in seconds.
Is that how it defends itself?
No. When threatened, the aardvark will bleat loudly, then somersault backwards to frighten off the enemy. Aardvarks need water to survive, but not just for drinking. They give birth during the rainy season, so they can be sure there will be a good supply of termites for their young.
You said it was hunted for part of its body.
Yes, aardvarks were hunted so that their hair could be ground into powder and added to beer. Some native tribes believed this would make a poison.
I can see why the aardvark is sometimes mistaken for a pig.
Yes. In fact, the name aardvark means earth pig in the Afrikaans language. But the aardvark is unique. It's Africa's most secret animal.